And we are live.
Welcome to the best sports betting show on the planet. This is Wager Talk Today. I am your host, Andy Lang. It is $5 Tuesday. We are breaking down NFL Thursday Night Football. We're going to break down some college football, MLB. Ralph Michaels is going to join us and give us some charts for NFL Week 1. Pay attention to that. That should help us out with some of our bets. Steve Merril is going to join us. We've got to talk Cowboys and Eagles, and we're going to talk a little bit of Yankees and Astros. Let's do a quick little Steam report. Johnny is recording for Contender Series, and I will do Contender Series at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. Let's do this quick little Steam report. I'm looking at college football, not a ton. It looks like, believe it or not, the line has moved against Penn State. They were minus 42. Now they're 41.5. So if you're itching to bet on Florida International, you can do that now. NC State, that line has moved off the key number of 3. That's now 2.5 on NC State. A couple of other line moves. Syracuse and Connecticut, this is a big line move. This opened at 8.5. Syracuse as a favorite. This has been bet down to 6.5. So you're now getting through that key number of 7. Money has come in on Indiana, no surprise there, over Kennesaw State, who looked absolutely terrible, and money is coming in on Clemson, big over Troy. They're already up to 34.5. So if you're wanting to lay the wood with Clemson, you're going to have to do that pretty soon before that gets to 35. Other than that, nothing too much. I see Arkansas is taking a little bit of money. They've crossed through 21. They're now at 23.5. And due to popular demand, let's take a look at baseball. I am not seeing much big line movement in baseball. Pittsburgh is taking some money against the Dodgers. Nothing too huge on that one. San Francisco is taking some money against Colorado. No surprise there. We'll talk about the Giants here in a bit. Boston is taking a little bit of money against Cleveland, but that thing's already up to like minus 275 at one of the books. And the line is flipped in Tampa Bay, Seattle. Tampa Bay opened as a favorite. Looks like Seattle is now the favorite, minus 115. Pretty close there. Other than that, not too much of anything really noteworthy. Athletics are taking a little bit of money on St. Louis, and San Diego with Yu Darvish is taking just a bit of money. So nothing too major though, guys. Nothing super huge. And WNBA under in New York, Golden State, and Phoenix has moved about a point. They're up to minus 7.5 against the Indiana Fever. So there you go for the Steam report. All right, guys, hit the like button. You guys know what to do. Subscribe to the Wager Talk YouTube channel, and let's bring in the great Ralph Michaels. And Ralph, you're famous for talking about these charts. One thing we want to do, we want to look at these charts, we want to explain it, and then we really want to talk about how do we digest it, how do we learn from it, what can we take away, and how does it help the handicapping this week. So first off, happy Tuesday. How are you, my friend?
Doing great, Andy. I've got a question for you. When you say $5 Tuesday, do you just want to sing the footlong, the Subway footlong jingle?
$5 Tuesday. Yes, everyone has a $5 play that's up. I do. Ralph does. We'll talk about that in just a second. Ralph, let's get into it, man. You're famous for charts. I want to start with NFL, and then we'll get to college football. So let's take a look at these sexy charts here.
You know what, Andy? As I talked to you before, these are probably my 2 favorite charts. I probably have done 500 charts. And because of the longevity, they make sense, and they're even better percentages more recently. You need to pay attention to them. First, we're going to talk about NFL Week 1 sides. Are there favorites or are there dogs that are advantageous? The other thing I like about this chart is we break down the general record. It gets better as we get more specific, even better with a second parameter, and even better with a third parameter. So let's go through those. You see the middle box is since 2009, the right box is since 2012. So Andy, this is blindly playing every NFL Week 1 dog since 2009. You are 54% and 55% since 2012. If you have a division Week 1 dog, 65% since 09, 66 since 2012. A division home dog, 77% and 82% since 2012. And take a look at the bottom. Division home dogs of 1.5 or more, 79% since 2009, 85% since 2012. So when you have better recent results and the more parameters you add and they make complete sense and the records get better, those are the kind of charts that not only can you not ignore, you have to make sure they're part of your NFL Week 1 handicapping repertoire.
All right. Well, we already have questioned the chat. Have wanting to know about the Panthers, so let's take a look at the Panthers here real quick and see if that happens to fall into well, it's Jacksonville, so they're not playing it. Ralph, I'm trying to find some games here, so we're looking for divisional games. So the Cowboys and the Eagles would fall into that category. Yep. You got the Giants and Washington that would fall into the category. So when we're looking at these games, this is where this chart is applicable, correct?
The two highest percentage games are the two NFC East dogs, correct. But again, you're still talking division. All division dogs are 66%. So, while you may not looking at those home dogs or the higher percentage, it's just something that you have to add in.
All right, I like it. I love these charts, Ralph. They're just the best. You want to take a look at some totals here? Let's take a look at the totals chart.
Well, you've heard me say this many times, Andy. Low totals are low for a reason. High totals are high for a reason. And this chart shows you just how much value there is. Now, remember this. Bookmakers do not place a line on where there is equal value. Bookmakers place a line to get equal money on both sides. So because Joe Public likes betting favorites and likes betting overs, when we have very low totals, they don't need to make them as low as they actually should be because they're getting equal money on both sides. The same with totals when they get very high. Many people back off those totals. So the chart has two sides. The left-hand side are the lowest totals, 45 and under since 2013, and 41% and under since 2013. The right-hand side are totals 45.5 or higher or 48.5 or higher. But take a look, especially the low totals, Andy. Blindly betting every NFL Week 1 total of 45 or less, you have won 64.4% of those games. And if you blindly bet every NFL Week 1 total of 41.5 or lower, you have won 71%. That's not too shabby over a 12-year period. So don't be afraid to bet those low totals if you do like the under. The high side, not nearly as much, 55 and 57%, but it still shows you value on the low totals, value on the high totals, especially Week 1 of the season.
All right, so I'm looking at the lines here. The lowest total looks like the Steelers and Jets, 38.5. Does not speak well for those offenses here. I don't see a total that is over that 48. I see a couple 47.5.
Buffalo and Baltimore is 50, I believe.
Buffalo and Baltimore. Okay, you're right. That's the night game. I see 47.5 on Miami and Indianapolis. I see 47.5 Cleveland and Cincinnati. I know people are already talking about how bad Cleveland or Cincinnati's defense is. I would have to agree with that one as well. So, Detroit Green Bay is also moved up to 47.5. So, we're looking at some of these. The 41.5 is the interesting one, Ralph. That is a stunning amount of games. that winning percentage is amazing.
Well, again, going back to 2013, so you got to remember we were pre-COVID. It was a little bit different. We had 4 preseason games instead of 3, so the game has changed, but the body of work is still pretty consistent. Even the last few years, I took a look. The 41.5s and under have done very well of late.
Love it. Let's move to college football here real quick. We asked you to look into the James Madison Louisville game. I believe that is this Friday. We got Louisville as a pretty big favorite here, 14 over under 57.5. Louisville was actually kind of sloppy in Week 1. I would expect them to clean some of that stuff up. I get why this line is so high. What's your take on this game?
Well, Andy, I'm glad you brought that up because when we look at these teams, they both had FCS opponents. Louisville was a 38.5 point favorite. James Madison was a 27-point favorite. And you can say, oh, look, Louisville did not cover last week, and James Madison covered. Therefore, I'm going to like James Madison. But when you're playing an FCS foe, especially Week 1, it's so very important to see how the game broke down. Now, Louisville led that game 41-0 at halftime. They scored the first 5 possessions, and they scored a special teams touchdown. What did Brom do? He said, we played a great first half. I'm going to empty my bench and let all the backups play. So 41-0 with starters, completely clean. Backups struggled. You look at James Madison. While they did cover, it was only 31-10 into the fourth quarter, and they needed to score 14 points in the fourth quarter to cover that game. So final results do not tell you how the game was played if your coach is resting starters. I will say this. I am a James Madison fan. You know, Bob Chesney took over from a James Madison team that went 11-2, and Signetti went to Indiana with, I think, 40 players from James Madison. So he basically had to restart fresh. He was at Holy Cross. He brings in the rush attack. They rushed for 192, 4.8 last year. They rushed for 331 yards and 7 yards per carry in week 1. They have a returning quarterback who's excellent, and he is mobile, so that does play into the run game. Now, they're going to run the ball, but that does concern me against Louisville. You look at Louisville's front 7, 5 returning starters. One of the starters that did not start last year started 13 games the year before when he was hurt. I count that as a returning starter, make it 6. And another starter is a 5-game starter from Coastal Carolina last year. One of the best front 7s in the conference, and I think they can slow that rush attack. My numbers actually have this at 13. Again, my power ratings the first few weeks of the year, I don't really use them. I do them and monitor and see what happens. This one surprised me, though, Andy. Friday games in week 2. The road team is actually 11-5, 69% since 2011. And why does that surprise me? Because you would think early in the year, you have a short week, you have less practice time going on the road, a day less, you're out of their routine. But again, away teams have done well. And I do want to point this out. When both teams won their opener by 20-plus games, the over-under is 58% to the under. The offenses were not tested, and they certainly will be tested this week, as well as the defenses. With all that said, the James Madison rush attack, the Louisville front 7, I'm going to go under first half James Madison team total. Now, James Madison team total is 21.5 for the game, so it's going to be slightly less. The number's out now yet, but as long as you get over 10, if you're getting under 10.5 or under 11, I do like this as a best bet. If the James Madison first half total comes out under 10, I want no part of it, but I'm 99% sure it's going to be over that number. Those numbers will start getting posted on Wednesday. You guys know what to do if the number is correct. Team total, James Madison, first half, as long as it's 10 or more, we're going to go under first half.
I like that breakdown. That's a sneaky way to look at that. Yeah, we a lot of times we forget about the halves and the team totals and the halves. It's so nice to have all these sports books that we have at our disposal now to give us those lines. So great breakdown, Ralph. I really, really like that one. It's $5 Tuesday. What do you have up?
Well, Andy, I don't have a baseball play today. I've been doing no-run first innings, and there was not value today, so I'm not going to force the play and pass, but I have a very special $5 NFL play. NFL plays rated 4% or 5%, football plays, college football and NFL, 4% and 5%, 19-3, 85%. My teasers rated 4% or 5%, 7-0, 100%, and 14-1, 91%. Get that play, $5, and remember, even though the play does not go today, the price goes back to full price at Wednesday, so any football packages you want on WagerTalk that are $5, make sure you grab them before midnight.
Love it. $5 football play. Incredible record there, Ralph. Thank you so much for joining us. Good luck, continued success. And thank you for sharing about the no-run first inning. You're absolutely right. No need to force anything, especially when the line isn't there. So, Ralph Michaels, everyone, take care, Ralph. Have a great day, my friend. All right, guys, it is $5 Tuesday. Best value in the industry. Every capper at WagerTalk has a top play up for just $5. That's the same bets that I'm betting myself. We have our Contender Series best bet that is up, for example. We hit our last two on Contender Series. I've told you guys every Tuesday my Contender Series best bet is going to be $5. You can stack as many handicappers as you want. Again, bet responsibly. Don't have too much of your bankroll in play, but it's a great way to try out a new handicapper or your favorite handicapper. $5 Tuesday, best deal in the industry. No reason not get some $5 plays. What a great Tuesday. Amazing Tuesday, $5 over at wagertalk.com. Let's go to all around the world. Let's talk about some games and some free plays here. We mentioned the Giants and the Rockies. The Giants -1.5. Several handicappers have this listed as a free play, and it makes sense. The Giants won 8 out of their last 9 games. 6 of those wins were by the run line. They beat Colorado 8-2 yesterday, and Freeland is pitching for the Rockies. 6.36 ERA at home. Yikes. I see team totals are pretty popular on the Giants. Their bats have been red hot. I get it. We're going to go to the Fever at the Mercury. Lexi Hall, over 3.5 rebounds. She's went over in 8 out of the last 10 games. In the last 2 games against Phoenix, she has 6 and 5 rebounds. Chris, can we see the picture of Lexi Hall? Yeah, that's what Lexi Hall looks like these days. She got in a massive collision in a game. She fought through it. She's still playing with those 2 big black eyes. That's the girl I want to take over a rebound. She's going to get in there and fight. Lexi Hall and her 2 black eyes. Let's cash that 3.5 over rebounds. Amazing. And she's a great follow on social media too, by the way. Cowboys at the Eagles. Let's do a prop here. Jalen Hurts, no interception. This thing is juicy, but it makes total sense. He's thrown 2 interceptions in the last 16 games. This is just one of these rinse and repeat plays. There's several quarterbacks that just don't throw interceptions, and Hurts is one of them. He has not thrown an interception at home against Dallas in his career. So we're going to lay the juice, and we're going to take Jalen Hurts. No interceptions. All right, see my buddy Steve Merril is here. Of course, Steve has not 1 R, but 2 R's and 1 L in his name. Happy $5 Tuesday, Steve. How are you?
Get on the chopper. I don't know if you can hear this. Right as we started, there's like a heavy military chopper going over. So hopefully the Yeti's not that good. Wow, that was loud. Hopefully y'all
I can hear it. That's amazing.
Could
Sounds
you?
like
Okay,
this
I'm
right
actually glad you
outside.
can hear it. Otherwise, I'd look silly saying get in the chopper. Get in the chopper.
I didn't know
It's
you lived on
$5
a-
Tuesday. Abe, get in the chopper. Look at that. Little prop from our U.S. military helping me out here on the East Coast. Gotta
Steve
love it.
Merril live from Fort Bend.
That's right.
So,
Live from a bunker somewhere near you.
Steve, we're going to talk.
I'm not going to
Yes.
get. As you know, Andy, I'm always trying to get canceled. I'm saying Redskins here. I got Redskins stuff everywhere, but I won't. There's a great 2 black eye joke I heard years ago that I won't stay with. Which is probably rubbing a lot of people the wrong way, but it's.
I know this joke. And
You know
yes,
this
do
joke?
not.
I was trying to
yeah,
think
I
of
know
one to
this
make
joke.
it more like sports oriented. Like, what do you tell Lexi when she doesn't get 2 rebounds in a game? Nothing. You've already told her twice to get those rebounds. Right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. We
can do it that way. Is that okay? I love that you know that joke. It's a terrible joke. Don't ever tell that joke. It's awful. Shouldn't even.
All right, let's let's talk Cowboys and Eagles. I know you're going to break down Yankees and Astros for it, but NFL kicks off. We got the Cowboys, we got the Eagles. Eagles big favorite, over under sitting at a pretty vanilla 47.5. I love the Eagles this year. I think they're under the radar. I've never seen a Super Bowl team.
I was just going to say under the radar.
Yes. Nobody likes them. It feels like everyone's out on the Eagles, and I don't get it. I mean, they're big favorites here, so the books obviously like them. I love the Eagles. What do you think of this game?
Fascinating game to talk about for so many reasons. Lots of angles here. I'm going to give you a free play in this Eagles-Cowboys Thursday night game, but also some big picture stuff with survivor pools and just ways, if you do want to play one side or the other, how I think you should attack it. So this is a great kickoff game to start the NFL regular season this Thursday night at 8:20 Eastern, Dallas at Philadelphia. And as our good friend Ralph Michaels will tell you, divisional dogs do well in week 1 in the NFL. And it makes a lot of sense for several reasons. I've always said that week 1 of the NFL is kind of week 5 of the preseason. I can't say that anymore because we only have 3 weeks of the preseason. But you can make an argument it's even more preseason-ish since there's only 3 preseason games and not 4. We do see some bizarre results in week 1 across the board that don't always translate to the rest of the season. So it makes sense that divisional dogs, teams that know each other well, taking the points is probably the way to go. Now, as Ralph Michaels also tell you, the divisional home dogs have been the sweet spot, not as much road dogs. And we also know that Thursday night favorites, Thursday night home teams in general have been the play. If you just play the better team on Thursday night games, you normally do well. And there's a couple reasons why that works. First of all, it's a spotlight game. And whenever you're getting two teams in a focused spot, the better team normally has the edge. But the reason it really works, in my opinion, during the regular season is because of the short turnaround. It's normally just 3 days of rest, and then travel, it's just 2 days of prep for the road team. That's not the case, obviously, here in this week one opener. So I am more inclined to give Dallas a little bit more of a chance in this game. And I'll take the contrarian call here with the Cowboys at +8. Also, it's ring night. I assume it's ring night when they always give the championship rings. That could be a little bit of a distraction. And I think Dallas could be a little bit better than people expect this season. Everyone's big on the Commanders. No one's big on the Giants. But I think Dallas is the team nobody's talking about in this division that could maybe sneak up and give the Eagles a run. And we'll find out on Thursday night. But something else I want to point out about this game as well is if you do play the Eagles, you're probably better off taking them down to -2. It does set up as a pretty good teaser selection, getting them as a straight-up win situation, defending Super Bowl champs on that strong home field. So I like Dallas +8. But if you do play the Eagles, you might want to consider the teaser option down to -2. But I will say week one NFL teasers probably aren't the best long-term investment. We don't tease preseason games because of the randomness, the softer lines. And once again, if I think week one of the NFL is semi-preseason still as far as the results, teasers probably aren't a huge advantage play this week either. But if you do like Philly, you're probably better off getting it down to -2. Tie that up with one of the Sunday games. I'm looking at the board now. You could take the Jets 2.5, 3 up to 8, 8.5, 9. You've also got another 8-point favorite of the Broncos. You can get them down to 2 minus Tennessee at home. And by the way, speaking of the Broncos being -8 and the Eagles being -8, this will be one of the biggest survivor picks this week, I would assume, because they're the biggest favorite on the board. And this is something else I want to talk about here. Very unique situation since most survivor contests allow you to enter, I would assume, up until kickoff on Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern. Lots of ways you can play this. If the Cowboys do pull the outright upset as an 8-point dog, that's going to knock a good amount of people out of their survivor pools. Now, will they re-up? Perhaps. But if you've been on the fence about entering some survivor pools, might want to wait to see if Dallas pulls the upset because you're going to probably have about 20 to 30% of your competition already eliminated. Might be a good reason to re-up or even get some more entries in your survivor pool. Maybe just stay away from Philly in this game Thursday. Hope that Dallas pulls that big upset and then maybe sneak in and get some overlay value in survivor pools on Sunday morning.
I love playing in NFL survivors, and I don't know why. I've never won one, and I always get mad. And every year, I'm like, I'm never doing this again. And then, of course, I'm entering but more. So, yeah, Colin says he likes the Cardinals for the survivor pick. I'm guessing that fading the Saints, that Titans-Broncos game, Cowboys-Eagles, yeah, that's got disaster written all over it. One of those teams is going to lose and knock, like you said, 30% of the people out. So,
well, that's the thing, Andy. I mean, the Saints are supposed to be the worst team, right? They're a 6.5-point home dog to Arizona. But like I said, if week one is random compared to the other weeks, this is where you get some credit. I think a really good strategy, by the way. I've asked some people, been asking me to do a survivor pick video. I'm playing with the idea. It's tricky, obviously, because, you know, once you get eliminated or whatnot, and a lot of people are out.
Yes.
But I think a good rule of thumb is maybe just kind of always never take the number one pick. And you can kind of figure out what it is every week. And we saw that work so well last year. The Bengals were one of them. What was it? The Lions lost, was it to the Niners in week 3? Whenever the Lions lost in week 3, by that point, like 70 to 80% of people were out of their contest. And then it was nothing but chalk. And as you know, as a bettor, it was like the most chalk-heavy run we've seen in NFL history for like the next 6 weeks through October. But so few people were still alive in their contests that those that were just went on massive runs. You got to, like I said earlier, you don't necessarily take the Cowboys, but you also maybe don't play the Eagles. You just hope that Dallas wins outright and knocks, a third of your competition out before the weekend.
Yeah, it's one of the ways that you almost have to play survivors. You can't play the one that everyone else plays because even if they win, you don't knock anybody out. You're just moving along with the crowd. Like
right. Even if you win, you're going to chop it with 100 other people. So it's like
that's exactly right.
Yeah, game theory. Yeah. We call that game theory. I love
it. Speaking of lack of game theory, did Belichick have the worst week?
So I was thinking about this, Andy. The free play videos did really well this week. I had my simulation, by the way, had Ohio State by 8.5 points, and I thought that was crazy. I kicked the computer a couple of times, and then realized, why am I kicking the computer? It costs a lot of money, but they won by 7. And when people in the comments are start saying there's no way they can win by more than a touchdown, I started realizing how public Texas was on Saturday. So a nice free play video play there, fading the number one Longhorns. Oh, by the way, Booger McFarland, whatever his name is, I'm watching the games on Saturday, and they're showing the highlights of that Saturday night. He goes, and they're showing the Penn State highlights. They're romping whoever it was, Marshall, whoever they played, and they go, he's like, the likely new number one with Texas going down, Penn State. I'm like, how would you put them ahead of Ohio State, who was
Seriously.
2 in the coaches poll with 21st place vote? I don't know. And I haven't seen the polls. I guess they haven't come out yet, but like, that was insane. I mean, just personally. But my point is, we had South Carolina Sunday. We had Miami of Florida in the free play video. Really have done well with the free play videos. And I had TCU last night. I had them by 6.5 in my simulation. And I didn't let the 3.5 scare me. They'd gone from a 1.5 point dog to a 3.5 point favorite. And Belichick was probably getting some public love, but he's not out there playing the games. And something I told one of the people in my comments was that, don't forget, he didn't have a very good start in the NFL with his head coaching career. Exactly 34 years ago to the date on September 1st, 1991. Wow. He was with the Browns. So, once again, you had Tom Brady, best quarterback ever, perhaps. I don't think he has that at UNC, and he was exposed last night. We'll see what the lines look like going forward, though. But, we'll probably get an overreaction now the other way.
Yeah. Oh, Penn State played Nevada. I did
Nevada. I knew it was somebody there. Yeah.
I took Nevada over 6.5 on the team total. Cash it, baby. They got to 11.
Well, a lot of teams get to 7, by the way. I lost.
I thought.
Hey, look, full transparency. I know you love it. The free play videos did really well in the top 25 games and whatnot. The best bets could have done extremely well. I had 3 losses this week and the opponent scored 7 points or 0 points. 3 losses. Now, if you hold your opponent to 7 or 0, what do you think your long-term win percentage? Like 80 or 90%? Even with big favorites, I don't care. Like, just insane how sharp some of these big numbers were this week, and just some backdoor covers. Statistically, felt like we had the right side in almost all those games, but it was pretty wild.
Well, let's move to Major League Baseball here, Steve. Yankees and Astros, two big names here. Pretty close to a pick'em. Yankees slight favorite. Fried going for Yankees. Valdez for the Astros. Over under sitting at 8. Feels kind of low, but then again, you look at these pitchers. Fried was kind of slumping a little bit. He's pitching last time out, had much better stuff there. What do you make of this Yankees-Astros matchup today?
Yeah, huge game tonight on Tuesday. National TV. This is your TBS national TV game and True TV. They're putting it on both networks at 8 o'clock Eastern Tuesday night. So this is the spotlight game for Tuesday baseball, Yankees at Astros. And some high-scoring games yesterday on Monday on Labor Day. These teams were working on Labor Day. In fact, I had an under best bet. My one best bet in baseball last night was the Orioles game under, and that stayed under. But you look at some of these other scores, Mets, Tigers, 18 runs, 11 runs in the White Sox game, 14 runs in the Athletics game, 13 in the Cubs game. We had 12 in the Texas game. Now, a couple of those did go to extra innings. I'm aware of that, but still a lot of double-digit results. So the teams in general are hitting the ball pretty good right now. Even though September is here, baseball is still in full throttle, full effect. And I do like the over in this game tonight as well on Tuesday for a few reasons. First of all, line value. It is a low total here. I think it's too low for two very capable offenses. And the reason we get an 8 here is because we got a pair of lefties on the mound, Fried and Valdez, two of the better pitchers in baseball, two veteran strong pitchers. But one thing I like to look at in September is guys that maybe are fading a little bit. And now both these guys can go the distance. Fried threw 174 innings last year in the regular season. He's at 162 this year, but it does look like he's wearing down. He has a 3.1 ERA overall this year, but over his last 7 starts since late July, a 5.0 ERA. And he's coming off a back-to-back good outings. He was horrendous before that. He's given up just one earned run in the last 13 innings and 2 starts. He still has an ERA of almost 5 his last 7. So I still think he's a little dicey. And Framber Valdez, we always joke he gets weaker as the season goes on because he can't cheat as much. But this is an ERA of a 3.2 on the season, 4.4 going back to late July over his last 7 starts as well. And both these guys are only about a game or two from hitting their innings pitched total last year. I think even if just one of them is off tonight, we can get over this fairly low total of over 8. And I'm willing to bet one of them probably doesn't have a great outing, especially since they both are coming off strong showings in their last start. But Valdez did it at home against the Rockies. Not going to read too much into that. Oh, no, yeah, that last great start by Fried was at home against not my Washington Nationals two of the worst offensive teams in baseball. Big turnaround here tonight. We've seen this total go from 7.5 up to 8. I still like the value, and we're actually getting into 8 over minus 105 now. Take a look at the Yankees and Astros over the total, 8 o'clock Eastern on TBS National TV tonight on Tuesday.
Boy, shots fired at Valdez, man.
Yeah, it's just too much. It's just too fun.
Framber.
He actually is a pretty good pitcher. He might be one of the few that don't need to Chady in the morning on that Astros team, but still it's easy pickings. It's like shooting fish in a barrel.
I know. Sometimes the low-hanging fruit does taste the best.
It was. I don't think we can say shooting fish in a barrel either. Maybe that'll get me canceled. I'm trying so hard. Making fun of Valdez.
Professional comedian Steve Merril bringing all the jokes.
I'm trying some. I actually had a good one. I saw this isn't an original. I think I saw it on Instagram like 3-4 days ago. I got to go back and find it. I should have screenshotted it, but I meant to come on today, Andy. But the whole other thing threw me off. Is say breaking NFL news in week 1, Travis Kelce is pregnant. I saw that meme the other day and I was dying. The way they did it was just like the picture of him from the side, and oh my goodness. I don't know if you've seen that or not. It was pretty good.
Again, poor Travis Kelce doing nothing wrong, minding his own business.
The question is, can he play the first couple months and then he has to sit out? How's this work? We've never had an NFL guy pregnant in season.
It's $5 Tuesday, Steve. What do you have up at Wager Talk?
So actually, 2 $5 Tuesday specials. We still have my top NFL futures best bet up for just $5. Now, it's been up all summer. I know many of you have already gotten this play. The line value is still there. It's my top NFL over-under season wins best bet, and it's available for just $5. And also, I will have a top baseball best bet for $5 Tuesday tonight as well. And don't forget about the free play. I'm very selective. 1 to 3 best bets on average, which means that last cut, just a bit outside from making the card, the best bet card, goes up as a bonus free play. And I do have a free play opinion tonight in the National League for you in your late night game between the Giants and Rockies. So get that Giants-Rockies free play right now. And then check out the $5 best bet, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, and get there quicker with shortcut WT.buzz/SM. And don't forget to like the videos, thumbs up, comment below, subscribe, and click that bell for an instant alert here on Wager Talk TV, because I will have a ton of free play college and pro football videos this week, including my top 25 college video on Fridays, and also my NFL Fade the Public debut for week 1 this weekend, Saturday, here on Wager Talk TV.
Great work, Steve. Did you catch any of the NASCAR race?
I saw the highlights. I did see the final lap this time, and I was like, man, this has passed me by. We got guys winning in the playoffs who never would have made the playoffs in years past.
It's wild, man. It's setting up for someone very, very bizarre to win this championship.
Do you have any futures out there, Andy? Do you ever play NASCAR futures?
Yeah, we had Michael McDowell to not win a race in the regular season.
My man McDowell.
And we had Kyle Busch under 1.5 wins.
That was solid. He might not. There was a chance he might not race 2 races all year the way things were going at the start.
True. So I was stunned we got that one. So the sneaky one was Van Gisbergen. They only had him at 1.5 wins. I think he won all 4 road courses. So that's
did he really? That's how little I'm following.
Yeah, he won all of them. He won all. He was the best road course
driver.
Did
he really? Wow.
Oh yeah. He's crushing. So
I'm living vicariously through Andy Lang's NASCAR futures.
Steve Merril, good luck today. Steve is going to be pumping out a ton of content now that we're neck deep in NFL and college football. So, and he's right. Subscribe to the channel. That way you get notified when all of these videos are released. All right. Before we close out, let's take a look at Contender Series. The full breakdown Contender Series video is up on the Wager Talk YouTube page here. So if you want to check out the more in-depth write-ups and breakdowns, you can go do that. But let's pull up the odds here. And I got these from FanDuel. I'll start at top. I think Theo Haig can pull the upset against Ola Kasachek. It's a bad matchup for Ola Kasachek. He's a striker. Haig is a wrestler and grappler. I think he's an absolute live dog, and all the favorites won last week. It's not going to happen, so you got to be looking at some of these underdogs. So Theo Haig is a big underdog that I think will do pretty well. Silva, I don't trust him as a favorite. Horrible striking defense. That's kind of a coin flip. Eduardo Chapolin, I love this guy. He's super aggressive. He's fighting Anton Ho, who's been on Contender Series before. Last time on Ho got knocked out in the first round by Leonard Kavanaugh. I lean Chapolin in that one. but both guys can hit really, really hard. McMillan is kind of funny, and he's fighting a guy who's only 21. That's Armin Sarukian's protege, David Mgoyan. So I do like Mgoyan in that one. So my $5 play is on Contender Series. This is week 4. We've hit our last 2 Contender Series plays, and we're on a 4-fight win streak in all of MMA. So go grab that $5 play. And, of course, we will be doing our live show, Takedown Live, over on the Winning in the Shadows YouTube channel. We will be watching all the fights on Contender Series, so come on over, follow along. We got live bets, in-fight predictions, write-ups, all that good stuff. So, all right, thank you very much, everyone, for joining it. Great day in the chat. Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, Steve. Don't forget to hit that like button. Leave us a comment below. Tell us what your best bet is going to be today. We're going to be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Good luck on all your bets today. Let's have a great $5 Tuesday. Take care.